So the Euros are right around the corner, and France have just released a full 26-man squad of who they would like to go to the competition. And there's been a fair amount of attention brought to this French national team because for the first time since 2016, Karim Benzema has been added to the squad. Now, he's not played for the French national team for quite some time due to a sex tape scandal back in the day, which I don't really see the problem with that, to be honest with you. At least it shows that he's good with his positioning. But ladies and gentlemen, what we'll be doing in today's video is I'll be reacting to the full 26-man squad that France have selected to go to the Euros this year. Now, obviously in the 2016 Euros, they got to the final. In the 2018 World Cup, they won the whole damn thing. So it's going to be interesting to see which players they select this time around and how far they actually make it into the Euros. I mean, I genuinely think they might win the whole competition. But in order to react to the French national team, we're gonna have to go French. Bonjour, merci, Eiffel Tower, baguette, escargot. Okay, so here we are. France 26-man squad for Euro 2021 has been revealed. So goalkeepers, obviously it is going to be Hugo Lloris. I feel like that's not a surprise by any means. Obviously he captained them to a World Cup victory last time. Decent goalkeeper, obviously, so I don't think that's any surprise. Obviously Steve Mandanda. I feel like that man's been around for absolutely forever. I wouldn't be surprised if Kylian Mbappe retired before that man. And obviously Mike Maignan. Sorry, I can't really pronounce it. Obviously the Lille goalkeeper. Lille have done very, very well. So in terms of those three goalkeepers, I don't feel like there's any big surprise, and I don't feel like many people have too many problems about that. But when we get to the defenders, now this is where it gets interesting for me, because first defender is going to be Leo Dubois, which makes me think of Madagascar for some reason.
Dubois, not believe. You fucking fool! Your cheap cologne is obscuring the animal muscle. My fist.
But Leo Dubois from Lyon, now obviously that is a bit of an interesting one. I don't know too much about him. I'm sure that he's a really good player to be selected for the squad. Leo Michael Joseph Claude Dubois is a French professional footballer who plays as a right back for Ligue 1 Lyon and the French national team. Okay, so that's who he is. Okay, in terms of a right back option, maybe not too bad, because to be honest, I maybe know of one or two decent right backs for France. So you know what, maybe he'll surprise me. Maybe he'll catch me off guard. I'm hoping so. And also that might be the most French name I have ever seen. Next up, we've got Benjamin Pavard, which I'm not surprised he's in the squad, to be honest with you. I think he's a very versatile player. He can play right back, left back, centre back. I wouldn't say that he's one of the best defenders in that position, but I think that he was selected for his versatility and obviously scored that world-class goal past Argentina in the World Cup. So, you know, it's a good player overall, does well for France. Not surprised to see him in here. And next up, Kurt Zuma, which I'm very happy to see in this. And you don't hear this from a South African very often, but I quite like Zuma. I think that he's been terrific for Chelsea this season. I think he's been definitely one of their best centre-backs. No surprise whatsoever that he is in the squad. And much like Raphael Varane, who's next, who I would say is like the only given centre-back in this squad. I would say that he's probably the best French centre-back in the world. He is a terrific player, and no surprise that he's here whatsoever. Next up, we've got the likes of Lenglet from Barcelona, who can be sloppy. I'll say that. He can be sloppy on his day. He can give away silly fouls. But you know what? At the end of the day, very good centre-back, and I'm not too surprised he's on this list. Much like the likes of Kimpembe next from PSG. Very good French centre-back. But you know what? I wouldn't say that he's one of the best in the world in his position, but you know, very decent player overall. He's got a lot of leadership quality to him. So not too surprised he's on this list. Now, next up, first left back we have on this list, and it is going to be the likes of Lucas Digne, who I'm happy. I'm excited to see this man in the squad because I love watching him at Everton. I truly believe that on his day, he's one of the best creative left backs in the entire world. I think that him playing for France in these Euros, I think that'll be a huge boost, to be honest with you, because if you think of him on the left back side with someone like Mbappe or Dembele in front of him, I think that pace on that left back side is going to be absolutely deadly. I think there have been some recent national competitions where he hasn't been selected for France, but Digne, I think he'll do a seriously good job for France. Another player that can play either left back or centre back, and it is going to be the likes of Lucas Hernandez from Bayern Munich. And guys, I'm shocked there's no Theo Hernandez in this. That's going to be such an awkward family dinner when they get home. I mean, look, I think Theo Hernandez has been one of the best left backs in the entire world this season when he plays there for AC Milan. He's been absolutely terrific. So for his brother to make it in the squad and not him, I don't know. As I said, it's going to be a very awkward family dinner, but at the end of the day, Lucas Hernandez, very good player, a very versatile player, and the final defender, it's going to be Kunda from Sevilla. I think that's how you pronounce it. Look, he's been linked to some big clubs as of late. He's been linked to the likes of Liverpool. He's been linked to the likes of, obviously, Manchester United. Some big clubs. I haven't seen too much of him, but when I have seen him, he's been a very good centre-back for Sevilla. And guys, those are the defenders done. Once again, obviously no Laporte, as he has swapped his international allegiances for Spain, which could be interesting, but thinking in hindsight, I don't know if Deschamps has chosen the smartest or the best defenders, in my opinion. There's also Noah Upamecano, which is a bit of a weird one. I think that there are some really good defenders in this list, but whether it's the strongest defense France could have gone for, I mean, I've got a few questions. Moving from the defenders, we now get into the midfield positions, and first midfielder, it is going to be the likes of Tolisso, which once again is an okay midfielder. Obviously was out for almost like a year with injury not so long ago. I think he's a very good midfielder. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about him. I think in terms of being a box-to-box midfielder, very decent, also very versatile. Not too surprised he's in the squad. Next up, N'Golo Kante, which best defensive midfielder in the world, no question about him. I mean, N'Golo Kante, he could be your sleep paralysis demon, not because he's scary, because that man is absolutely everywhere. One of the best defensive midfielders in the world, without a doubt, is in the Champions League final, got to the FA Cup final, has done a decent job with Chelsea. Not surprised by any means that he is in the squad. Next up, Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba, unfortunately, can go a tiny bit missing. Talk about searching for sugar, man. Where the hell is Paul Pogba? You can't see that man half of the time. Exact opposite of Kante in that regard, I guess. But you know what? Pogba, when it comes to the French national team, always shines, in my opinion. Scored a goal in the 2018 World Cup final. But you know what? As I said, for Manchester United, can go missing, but when he does well, he is one of the best in the world. Not too surprised that he is in this list. I think he's almost a given for France. Next up, we've got the likes of Rabiot from Juventus. Once again, very good midfielder overall, can get very, very quiet, but you know what? A big physical threat in the box, just like Paul Pogba when it comes to headers, could be a very good threat when it comes to the box in those set-piece kind of plays. Not too surprised he's in the squad. Next up, we've got Sissoko, which I'm not going to lie, I'm a tiny bit surprised by this. I think when he's played as an attacking midfielder or a defensive midfielder this season for Spurs, he's actually been pretty good. I feel like he's very good at link-up play. In terms of this whole French midfield, look, that is it for the French midfield. I don't know, I feel like there are one or two players that they could have put in the squad instead. I'm not going to lie. I'm heavily surprised that the likes of Fekir from Real Betis isn't in here.
What about me?
Because looking at this midfield for France, it's a very defensive midfielder. I wouldn't point at any one of these players and choose them as an attacking midfielder, which obviously, look, France don't always play that kind of formation. But not to have any kind of attacking midfielders, it's a tiny bit strange, to be honest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get into the juicy bits, the part that you've all been waiting for, the attackers. And obviously, attacker number one has to be Karim Benzema, which once again, back into the squad finally, and I still don't get the problem with the sex tape. Once again, it shows that he might actually be good with his finishing. I should really stop with these Benzema jokes, shouldn't I? But jokes aside, at the end of the day, I truly believe that Benzema is one of the best strikers in the entire world. He's been doing a solid job in La Liga. Year after year after year, for like 10 years, he's been one of the best strikers in the entire world. I feel like he doesn't get the credit that he deserves to get. Very decent striker at the end of the day, and 100% deserves to be in this French squad. Obviously, Olivier Giroud is next. Tiny bit of a strange player, because at the end of the day, look, he doesn't always show up for his club, or he's not always selected for his squad, funnily enough, but one of the top goal scorers in the Champions League this season, and one of France's top goal scorers of all time. Like, can we think about that for a second? Giroud might overtake Thierry Henry in terms of goals for France. Tiny bit of a weird one, but what do you expect from the sexiest man in football? Wow. I'm waiting for his sex tape scandal. Nah, but jokes aside, Olivier Giroud, a very accomplished striker overall, one of the most successful strikers at the end of the day. Not one of the best in the world, I would say, but you know, it's a great header off the ball, and I'm sure he'll do an excellent job for France. Just like the next man, who's going to be Kylian Mbappe from PSG. Come on, Mbappe. Now, there's no secret that Kylian Mbappe is world class. I mean, he was an absolute monster in the 2018 World Cup. To win a World Cup before the age of 20 and to play a huge role in that, look, that shows you that he has something special. He is running away with the golden boot in the French league this season, an absolutely unstoppable attack. And I think that France, look, let's be honest, there's no way he wasn't going to be selected for this team. I think that Kylian Mbappe, if you put him up front with the likes of a Karim Benzema, something like that, with an experienced attacker, I believe that Kylian Mbappe could cause quite a bit of damage. We've now got the fourth striker on this list, which is going to be the likes of Wissam Ben Yedder, which, I'm not going to lie, these are four very good strikers for France, because Ben Yedder is currently the second top goal scorer in the French league under only Kylian Mbappe. So to have the likes of Giroud, Benzema, Ben Yedder, Mbappe, like those are genuinely four amazing strikers. And genuinely when it comes to like other top nations, I feel like they would take any of these four strikers on their day. This is an insane attacking lineup. Can I promise you guys this? There will be no team in the Euros this year that will get a clean sheet past France. I would put money on that bet. Unless I lose that bet, then please forget about this. Kingsley Coman is next, and guys, is this entire French national team actually a Bayern Munich team? This is a very Bayern Munich forward team. I mean, you've got the likes of Hernandez, you've got the likes of Pavard, Tolisso, Coman. It's a very Bayern Munich team, but you know what? That's very good for Bayern Munich. I don't think they'll complain by any means to have players like that. But Kingsley Coman, you know what? I've always thought of him as a tiny bit of an under-the-radar kind of player. But this season, one of the top assist makers in the Bundesliga, has just won the Bundesliga title, has actually stepped up massively, obviously scored the winning goal in the Champions League last season. You know what? Kingsley Coman, after all his injuries earlier on in his career, he's really stepped up a level, and I'm actually not surprised that he's in this team whatsoever, which I don't know if I can completely say the same about the next player, who's going to be the likes of Ousmane Dembele. What is it about French players and their injuries? I mean, genuinely, are their legs made out of baguettes? What is the problem with them? But Ousmane Dembele, on his day, is a very good winger, can play right wing or left wing. I think that's a very good thing for a winger to have. Very versatile player overall. But you know what? At the end of the day, he doesn't always perform. I'm not too sure why he is in the squad. Look, in terms of French wingers, I guess that he is amongst the top of them. But you know what? At the end of the day, he can underperform. And you know what? He's one of those players that will either totally disappear or will win games. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Along with the likes of Antoine Griezmann, Dembele's Barcelona partner. Once again, Griezmann, one of those players that can totally disappear. And can we all recall 4 years ago, 5 years ago, after the 2016 Euros, when he said he should be up with the likes of Messi and Ronaldo? I don't think that's aged well, but obviously Griezmann, a top player, does play well for France on a regular basis, can play as a winger, striker, centre forward, attacking midfielder, and once again, in terms of his versatility, I think is a fantastic player. And you know, it has won quite a few golden boots with France, has done well in competitions with France, so I'm not too surprised that he's selected whatsoever. Okay, we've got two more players on this list for the entire French national team, and it is going to be Thomas Lemar from Atletico Madrid. Now, once again, one of those players that can go heavily under the radar. Obviously, Atletico Madrid have done very well this season. So to see a player from Atletico Madrid in the squad, I'm not too surprised. But I'll admit this, I think the last player on this list is a tiny bit of a strange one, as it is going to be Marcus Thuram, who obviously his father is one of the most capped French players of all time. I think he might actually be the most capped French player of all time. His father was an absolute legend for France. But Thuram with Mönchengladbach, look, he hasn't been a spectacular player, so it's a bit odd, in my opinion, to see him in the squad. But guys, that is the full France 26-man squad, and there are some big players missing. Look, there's no Lacazette. Look, obviously Martial, I'm not surprised that he's not on this list. I mean, as I said, I think we are more likely to see Kurt Zouma up front for France than we are the likes of Martial. But you know what? Big players not in this team. There's obviously Upamecano, as I said, Lacazette, Fekir. There are some top players not playing for France, but that just shows how strong this French national team is. And guys, I want you guys to tell me down in the comment section down below, how do you guys think France is going to do in the 2021 Euros? Do you think they're going to win the competition? Because in my opinion, the strength of this French national team, bar maybe 2 or 3 random squad rotation players, I think that they might actually run away with the Euros this year. They are that strong. I feel like the only real competition they have is maybe a team like Portugal, who's looking very strong at the moment, or Belgium or England, teams like that. But France, the way they've set up, the amount of quality players they have in each position, the squad depth they have, they might genuinely run away with it. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think. Obviously, if you guys are not subscribed, please consider doing so. I'd really appreciate it. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. And along with that, please like the video down below. Can we get this one to 20 likes? If we get this video to 20 likes, it helps my channel out massively. But guys, this has been Finn. FYNN. Cheers. Bonjour. Does that mean hello? Pretty sure that means hello. Bye.